Africa. My name is Shaitan and this is
Mercy.
Hi Mercy, how are you? Alright, I hope you guys are charged up for the new year. It's 2019. We have different goals. We've all set up different things that we want to do. The whole new year, new me, new year resolutions and all of that. But today we're planning to talk to you about what are the things that we really need to put our minds to as we start the new year. And we're going to be discussing 5 major themes. And Mercy would also be discussing with us. Say hi to Mercy.
I'll try to discuss.
Alright, so we have 5 things. The first thing is putting God first in everything that we do. I mean, God is the creator of the earth. God has kept us alive to this moment. So we have to return everything back to Him. In everything that we do, in our steps, we should put God first. Do you have? So seriously.
Don't mind that. I got dragged to this channel, so you just have to excuse me. But in terms of putting God first, I feel it's God is the author of everything, life, as we know. And He has, I don't want to use the common term, He has the manual for like our lives, but technically yes, because we're talking about an omnipresent being. We're talking about a being who knows the beginning from the end. And I would say as human beings, we're very limited in what we can see. Like, you don't know what tomorrow holds, you don't know what tomorrow brings. But how not talk to the person, the one who knows. I don't say we should go to God because of these things, right? We should first go to God because of the relationship that we want with Him and we should have with Him. But how about talking to God about these things? He knows what kind of He knows the profitable business that you should invest in. He knows the career path that you should take, more so because He knows us more than we know ourselves, right? And let me just say the scripture, before He formed us, He knew us in our mother's belly, and He had predestined us to be, what's the completion of that? I feel like He has ordained us and predestined us to be kings and priests in the earth. I probably paraphrased that scripture, but you get the whole idea. God already knew us while He formed us in our mother's bellies. So yeah, just put God first, and I feel like
I didn't have to tell us. Like, I dragged that to
every other
pretty much preaching.
No, and every other thing will be added into your
Glory.
2019. So start with God.
Yeah. So the second thing that I think it's very important for us to put into as we go into the new year is knowing ourselves. There's a lot that plays out, or there's a lot that has to do with knowing yourself. Without you knowing yourself, or when you know yourself rather, you're able to set some boundaries. You're able to know, oh, this is my strength. If someone is inviting you to do a business deal or inviting you to go somewhere, if you know yourself, you will be able to stand up and say, no, I can't do this because this is me. This is what I can do. These are my capabilities. Same thing applies to relationships. Oh, this person is treating me like this. I cannot stay like this. This is who I am. Do you understand? So you have to know yourself well enough to be able to know what you can tolerate and what you cannot, and be able to stick to that.
I don't like saying this too either, but people always say, and I think it's Aristotle or something that said, to thy own self be true. So I'll just give an example. So I was doing a master's program, and it's in engineering technology management, which was a total deviation for what I did for my undergrad, which was civil engineering. I really love, I would say I really love the new path that I was taking, but some people assumed that I was interested in civil engineering and everything that had to do with civil engineering. Now, I didn't put it out there, but many of the opportunities that were coming to me, many of where people were trying to place me when the time came, was more in line with architecture and civil engineering. And I knew that that was not the path I wanted to follow, but like, maybe I was not more I didn't emphasize, let me just use that word. I didn't emphasize on my own, the skills I had. I didn't emphasize on those skills. So they categorized me into a different box entirely. And I was stuck doing something for about a year that I didn't really like to do. But then I felt like if everybody was clear about what my skill was, where my areas of research was to an extent, I would have been placed in somewhere where I would have flourished more in terms of research, although I still flourished in the place I found myself. But yes, knowing yourself, knowing that I already know that then civil engineering is not for me. Even if I go into civil engineering, I'm more interested in the project management aspect. I know I love things that have to do with quality, process improvement. So yes, that just comes from knowing yourself and what you love to do. And naturally, if you love to do something, you actually excel in it. That's it for me.
Very good point there. So the next thing, as we all talk about developing Africa, developing our respective nations and continents, there's a lot of emphasis on how the government is the problem and how, you know, everything has to be done by the government. But I do not necessarily believe. I feel like we ourselves are the problem. Not necessarily like the problem, but we play a huge part in making things work. So we're encouraging that in this 2019, beginning from today, that we take the stance to be the change that we want to see. It starts from as little as going out on the road and seeing the trash or holding the trash. Instead of throwing it on the road, how about you keep it and throw it somewhere else, or keep it so you get the trash or a bin? Instead of being deceitful, how about you speak the truth? Instead of being fraudulent, obeying the rules. Little things like that play a huge role in making our nation and our continents better. So the number 3 is going to be the change that you want to see in this new year and even going forward.
Yeah.
What do you say, man?
I always say that Jesus is peace. That's why he had peace to give. So like what you don't have, you can give it. If who were the disciples that said, silver and gold I have not, but as I have, such as I have, I give unto you, right? They had, let me say, they had healing. Of course, healing comes from God, and that's what they were able to give to the beggar. So you can't pour into people, you can't pour into others what you don't have. If you're deprived, if you're deprived of knowledge, you can impact other people with knowledge. If your leadership skill is poor, you can't even be able to, like, if you're corrupt, you can't even start talking about corruption. You can't even pick and see that, oh, the president is corrupt, whereas you're also corrupt and all that. So yes, I would say you can't give what you don't have. So every single time that you point a finger, like they say, 4 others are pointing towards you, you need to start evaluating yourself. You need to start searching and digging deeper. Do I have this thing I'm talking about? I'm complaining about love. Do I have love? And am I giving love to other people? Are people coming to me and seeing light and seeing hope for tomorrow, hope for Africa, hope for Nigeria? That's what I think, generally.
Thank you.
Sure.
Alright, the next thing, the second to the last thing is acquire a skill. Have a side hustle beyond your 9 to 5. Even if you do not have a 9 to 5, even if you're still job hunting, whatever it is, acquire a skill. Skills are different. There are hard skills, there are soft skills. We need to have a balance of both. Emotional intelligence, leadership skills, those are soft skills. But acquire a skill you can monetize, a skill that can set you apart, that can give you an extra source of income. Don't just sit at home waiting for manna to come from heaven, you know. So yeah, acquire a skill.
Well, for me, I would say that when I started writing, it was just like an hobby for me. I'll say to an extent, writing has put food on my table. Yeah, so one thing with skills though is I had a friend who used to write, and the first period I read his write-up, I was like, okay, dude, in my head, you're not meant to write. But over the years, no, seriously, because I always wonder why those project fame people, they always still go and sing. Like, it's nobody telling them that they don't have the voice. But I knew then that, to an extent, I saw that passion, like, that he had, and the excitement to give me that, like, thing to read and all that. So I couldn't even just afford to say, okay, I didn't feel this article. So it's not like I didn't want to be straight with him and stuff. But over the years, like, I feel like this guy even writes better than me, Seth. Like, in all honesty and all that. And I started with poems. Poems were not even my strong point. I just used to feel like it was inside me and I had to bring it out and all that. So I started writing and stuff. And now it's bringing money to an extent. So for me is, you may not even be good at that area, but if you see that you have a calling towards that area, do things for other people. Like, people used to come to me, write business plans, did this article for me. I wouldn't have said that my English was the best as of then when I was editing for other people. But in editing for other people, I started understanding grammatical structures. I started understanding punctuations. I would say one of my lowest points in terms of writing was like in terms of punctuations and all that. But correcting other people's work and also working more on my writing skills, I feel like it's gotten to an aspect where I would want people to read what I wrote. Before it wasn't like that. So yeah, you might feel like I don't have any skills. That's what I'm saying. We all have skills. We have all have, even if it's talking to somebody, even if it's yes, public speaking. What other skills are there? Sewing, drawing. No matter how little it is, like, you'll be amazed at the kind of things that people are doing on Instagram now to blow. So nothing small, even if it's the talent of typing very fast, it's a skill. Like, just work on it and just differentiate yourself from other people, and I feel like that will set you apart in 2019. That's what I think. Yeah. Did you just say hallelujah?
I said I'm going on, like, moving forward beyond 2019. So the last thing which you already touched on is monetizing your skill. And I think this also goes back to knowing your strength. You might be able to do a lot of things, or knowing yourself. You might be able to do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that that's the way you want to focus yourself on. Whatever skill that you know, or whatever set of skills that you have, identify the one that makes you most comfortable and try and monetize it if it's possible to monetize it, because like she said, writing has put food on our table a couple of times, and I'm even getting benefits as well. But yeah, monetize the skill instead of just sitting at home doing nothing, thinking about how to get things done. Acquire a skill, monetize the skill, and I'm sure it's going to pay off in the long run.
Yeah, monetizing a skill is an art. I would say that because it's entirely a different structure, and you probably need mentors or people to like put you through. You probably need a website that's like a different topic entirely. But I feel like it's something you can do. You can read more about it, how to put yourself out there, how to be confident in your work and the value that you have to offer to people. Yes. You need to know that you have value that is worth being paid for. And until you know that, you probably not charge for your first photography. You probably not charge for a lot of the things that you do. But put in your best in what you do and know that you have value to offer to people, and that's it. You get the money.
Yeah. So in the long run, we can see that everything plays together. Knowing yourself, putting God first, monetizing your skill, acquiring your skill, and reading books, and also doing things for people, volunteering. You can be volunteering your services for the first few times, just so you get a hang of your skills, because I mean, you can't just charge from the first job. Sometimes the first job might not always be the best. But yeah, that is what we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this channel. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching.
Subscribe button below. Bye.
Your blessing. We want this money. I beg you, Bentley,